So I want to talk really quickly about the ghosts of Emmett Till and Rosa Parks and their memories. I want to use those images as a springboard for this question. Do we actually believe the things we say we believe? What do we believe? Do we believe that discrimination? Do we believe that false accusation? Do we believe that punishing people for crimes they've not committed? Do we believe that lying is wrong, morally unacceptable? Or do we not believe that? Because you can't only believe it's unacceptable sometimes. Because if you do, then you don't actually believe it's unacceptable. You don't actually have principles. And you're exposing your true hatred. So a few things on this. First is this It's Okay to Be White campaign, which is brilliant. The reason it's brilliant is because it is very carefully structured. The word okay, it denotes acceptability, average, par, even in a sense you could argue mediocre. And the fact that people are freaking out about it means that they don't actually think that it's okay to be white. They don't actually think it's acceptable to be born with white skin. So they're exposing their racism. But of course, in the bizarre religion of social justice, you can't be racist against white people. And we'll do another video on the entire Bible of social justice. And I'm sure people much smarter than I have already done so, but I'll give it a stab anyway. So you're just revealing your own racism when you do that. I apologize. Let me get a little bit adjusted here. You might also hear someone snoring because I'm at work right now. If you'll remember, this is the Matrix chair at my job. And so, do we believe in affirming human life or do we not? Because the fact that we can say Black Lives Matter, which you can make a very strong case for, the notion that in that statement is an implicit, or rather an implication that somehow other lives don't matter quite as much. But if you can say that, then you should also be able to say it's okay to be white, which is a different statement than Black Lives Matter. You're saying Black Lives Matter, and then you're saying it's okay to be white. Those are a little bit different. And the fact that you're freaking out about it's okay to be white, it's acceptable to be born the way you are. The fact that that's not acceptable to you means you really fucking hate people based on the color of their skin. So you aren't actually the anti-racist that you say you are. You're not actually principled. You are actually full of hatred. You are actually a fucking bigot, a fucking racist. Which should really make you feel like shit, by the way. And then you should go about changing that shit around. But do we believe that it's wrong, or do we not believe that? And there is no in between on matters of principle, by the way. I mean, you can argue that there's matters of degrees of things, but that's not even really a question of principle. That's a question of application. And a great example of that are these next things we're going to get into. Um, Styx made a video about this. This is why I know about it. But there was this photographer, this volunteer photographer at a concert. This Latina woman, I guess, was putting on. The photographer was a volunteer. I was not quite clear, so I presume that she had to buy her own ticket, buy her own way into it. So she bought and paid for a spot at this concert, and they said, all the brown ladies to the front, i.e., white people to the back of the bus. And she was like, no, fuck off. I'm here as a photographer of the music show. If I'm in the back, I'm going to be only taking pictures of the rafters, which is not what I fucking came to take pictures for. They escorted her out, issued an apology to everyone, apologizing for her racism because she refused to accept being moved to the back. So I guess Rosa Parks was a racist because she didn't want to go to the back. And that's exactly what it is. It's look, am I comfortable? Am I comfortable in comparing those two? No, because it's slightly different. But on principle, it's the same exact fucking thing. And if you don't think it's the same exact thing in principle, then you've got a major issue on your hands. And you're not actually principled. Or somehow you think that the different degrees make it acceptable, then you're not actually principled and you don't actually care about anti-hatred and anti-racism like you claim to. You're not actually a moral human being. You're actually full of hatred. So either we care about these things, either discrimination is unacceptable or it's not. You can't make exceptions. What else do we have here? It's wrong no matter who does it, period. And if you're going to carve out exceptions, then that means you don't actually think it's wrong. You only think it's wrong on Tuesdays. So if those aren't those actual principles, then maybe you should shut the fuck up about how much of a moral person you are and signaling your virtue to all of us. I mean, seriously, get fucked. Now the other thing is these accusations towards everyone. Who is lying? Because you know that there are some people here that are lying. You know, who are the poor white men that have dozens of people clamoring at them, accusing them of rape? Or who are the poor people, I should say, period, that are having a bunch of people clamor at them, accusing them of rape? You know, no one is falsely accusing or accusing en masse poor people of rape. It's not happening. I'm not saying everyone's lying. What I am saying is that some people here are lying. They're going after people with money. This is not that fucking hard to figure out. This is a dangerous game you're playing. And most of the targets are white men. And I don't think that's an accident either. Because we're seeing with the whole it's okay to be white thing. And I mean, we've seen basically for the past 5 years that white men are just, I mean, men in general, but white men in particular are just being dumped on. So they've been identified as a target. They're vulnerable. They're not really cared for in society because they're just the root of all society's problems. They've been identified as the devil, again, in the social justice Bible. And so now they can be exploited. They can be targeted, and no one will question it. No one will give a fuck. No one will come to their defense. Which, by the way, is the mind of predatory abusers. So are men dispensable? I mean, that's basically the message we've gotten from fourth wave intersectional feminism, and the message that the state has been pushing, because you don't need a man for resources. You can just take a welfare check. So, accusations, I heard fucking, I think Chris Cuomo was his name, say an accusation is evidence. No, it's not. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you off your gourd? An accusation is not evidence. I can say that Tuesday comes after Friday. That doesn't make it so. Are you fucking kidding me? An accusation is evidence. No, sweetheart, I don't think you understand what that means. But someone is lying in these accusations. And these people are being targeted for specific reasons. Because they have money, and they're being targeted because the message is they're responsible for societal ills, and we can just dump all over them with no concern because they're just stupid, evil, racist, rapist, white men. Only capable of evil. They're the devil. Again, in the social justice Bible. And it doesn't even matter if they actually did anything or not, because one accusation can ruin someone. And the genesis for this whole thought was the Dustin Hoffman accusation. I'm not sure if another accuser has come forward. And it's not just Dustin Hoffman. I mean, we've seen this before. One single accusation can ruin someone's life. An accusation, a word. Oh, he raped me. No evidence required. No evidence required, because we've been told that men are disposable. Men are evil, men are rapists. So they're vulnerable to be exploited, targeted, gone after, destroyed based on unfounded claims, based on a single word. You know who else had his life destroyed based on an unfounded claim that was total horseshit? There's this little black kid who was about 14 years old. I believe it was Mississippi in 55. I'm fuzzy on the details, but his name was Emmett Till. Just in case you never fucking heard of him. And I wasn't being facetious when I said fuzzy on the details. I reread it for the zillionth time all the other day, but now I'm forgetting it. But he was lynched. He was fucking murdered based on an unfounded claim of one person. That was complete fucking bullshit. But it was believed because blacks at the time were identified as the target, not given their due. They were exploited, they were vulnerable, they were dispensable, they were disposable. And now the same thing is happening to men in general, and white men in particular. So, either it is wrong to target and disenfranchise people and lie and destroy people's lives based on unfounded claims, or it is not. There is no in between on this. So tell me which one. Is it wrong to target people based on the color of their skin or the genitals between their legs? Is it wrong to lie? Is it wrong to cheat? Is it wrong to steal? Is it wrong to murder? Is it wrong to bear false witness? Is it wrong to discriminate, or is it not? On this, there's no gray. It's pretty clear. It's either wrong all the time or it's wrong none of the time. You can't make an exception. And if you want to make an exception, that means you're not a moral, principled person, and you need to take a fucking look in the mirror. You really need to examine yourself. That's all for this video. I really liked that I had notes this time. I'm going to start doing more like this because it's structured and there's not as much dead space. Still was a bit mechanical for my taste, but I still dug it. So I'm going to do more like this. I'm going to buckle down and really start to do more videos and solid with notes and things like that, structure. Anyways, so please like, rate, comment, subscribe. Donate on the Patreon, the HATREON, all that good shit. And until next time, speak, listen, understand, and ask everyone around you, what do you believe? And do you actually believe it? Or do you just believe it some of the time?